Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Order. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this discussion is the blind leading the blind. This is a passage taken out of the Bible, but I don't want you to be fooled. This passage pertains to all things of the world. Gangs, marriage, business, anything that you could be deceived at, your eyes could be shut to, and you could be led astray. When you look at the recent events in Washington, how you had Donald Trump stand up on national TV, summon all his followers to come to Washington, to the Capitol building. He tell them, I'm going to be there with you, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And what happened? All these people showed up. Donald Trump was nowhere in sight, and they get to take the fall while he's standing on the sideline and just watch all these fools. They were deceived because they believed in this man there's something that was not there. He has never been about people. He's always been about the person. You elected this fool to be your president, but he took this presidency just for himself. And he showed you this in every decision that he made. He's going to make sure he's coming out of this unscathed. Let's see how many pardons he give the people who came out here to this protest. And you see how many pardons he done already gave his personal friends and cohorts. But the thing is, it's not just about being deceived. It's about how long can you be deceived. After so much time, you got to become or got to get close to the point where your eyes start to open. No one should have to tell you what is really going on in this world. If you just look, I want my black people to stop being fools. Stop not listening to people like myself that's trying to tell you the truth, and you rather believe what they show you on TV, that they want you to come together, that we are better together. But that is not the case, and it never has been. I've been telling you for years that there are two Americas, and they show you this every time. Every time there's a business opportunity, we always get the short end of the stick. Whenever there's educational opportunities, we get the short end of the stick. You can look at it straight down the middle. You have a white benefit and you have a black benefit. And whites are always 2, 3, 4 times better or greater than ours. Had this been a black movement that called itself on to storm the White House, the Capitol building, the police they couldn't have brought enough toe tags because they'd have opened up fire on them Negroes. They still be mopping up blood in the streets. Just in peaceful protests. Donald Trump had his police on guard when they didn't turn to violence. He was like, I'm glad they didn't do it because I had some mean guys and some mean dogs. They was waiting for him. And this is what you prepare for a peaceful protest. You see how he used the military, police, smoke bombs, just to clear the protesters out the way so he can stand up in front of a church with a Bible, just a photo op. He using gas bombs just for that. But when it's white on white, you see white cops show the patience of a saint. Even while white protesters are throwing fire extinguishers, hitting them in the head, these guys did not retaliate. You got white cops with the pistol in their hand, people banging, on the glass. You don't know what they got on the other side of that thing, but they would not fire. Only like 2 or 3 people died from gunshot wound. One of them committed suicide. So all in all, about 5 people altogether died. Had that been the other way around, we'd only have about 4 or 5 survivors. 3,000 people dead. And the only reason why the 5 survived is they ran out of bullets because they putting 5, 10, 15 bullets at each person. They came strapped and loaded. So now I don't want now one more Negro to tell me that there is only one America. And they keep hyping on this Constitution that was founded in 1776. But blacks weren't free from slavery until 1865. That's 90 years. You don't keep citizens of America enslaved for 90 years. So stop this. You know, politicians, these politicians, I'm listening to the news, and now they're talking about politicians are having to wear body armor just to go do their work in Congress. They're fearful of their what they call them when the left and right is always talking about my comrades or colleagues to the left or colleagues to the right. Behind this incident now, they're fearful of each other. Nancy Pelosi writing laws to protect the Democrats from Republicans. You got Republicans trying to trying to protect themselves from other Republicans because some of them chose to do the right thing and vote to impeach Donald Trump. Now they in fear of not only the supporters of Donald Trump, but they in fear of their own party. And then while they keep talking about everybody coming together, they're buying body armor to protect themselves. But how long have we lived in fear from whites? And what have we done to protect ourselves from them? Nothing. But that don't mean that we can't. We can protect ourselves from them by stop relying on them for everything. We can create a whole new way of life if we just come together as a people and build businesses and industries around our essential needs. Whatever you're doing right now to put food on your table and keep a roof over your head, we can create a private black alternative for it. And every time a need or want that our community needs, we will have a job in line to provide it. So every time somebody gets hungry, that's an opportunity to create a business. Every time somebody get thirsty, that's another opportunity. Every time our health is need to be maintained, that's another business. Our education, our transportation, our vacation, entertainment, leisure, furniture, all these industries we can create privately. And while the world is going crazy, we can be about our business of making our essential needs our main business. Now here you have, it's been a week since you had thousands of people not just march on the Capitol building. They had the council people. They ran for cover. They was in fear of their lives. Pence was the Washington Post reported that he had just left out the room right before the protesters came in there, and had they found him, they'd have killed him. You got video of him beating a police officer with an American flag. And I'm sitting here like, I can't believe this. You got colonizers trying to overthrow their own government. I could see you coming into somebody else's land and displacing the existing governing body. Here you come and you trying to displace your own government. But when blacks are on the receiving end of this economic system, if we're not happy, you tell us to leave. But when you're not happy with your own system, you go up there and try to overthrow it. Why didn't you just leave? If it's that easy for us to do, how come you didn't do it for yourself? Just pack up and go. You know, like I say, it's been a week since this incident, a little bit of a week and a couple of days, and you've had no major news conference explaining exactly what took place, how it took place, and what steps have they done to make sure that this never happened again. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you don't hear from nowhere else, they will never come out there and tell you exactly what happened, how it happened. Because just like with the election, once a candidate lose by a certain number of votes, I don't care if it was corruption. You cannot come out and tell the people that somebody cheated the system so badly that 30, 40, 100,000, a million votes were falsely put in place and the wrong candidate got elected. You would destroy the people's confidence in the system, and you would never be able to get them to go back and vote again at these specific numbers. This Capitol building, this incident here, it's the same thing. If they came out and told you how many senators or Republicans, Democrats, whoever, let these people in, showed them where the other politicians' office was at, how much inside help these people got to kill congressmen, to kill senators. They didn't come in there just to protest. They came there with blood in their eyes. If they came out and held a press and said, this senator here, this senator there, his staff led the protesters and told them where the officers were, where you would never have confidence in these congressmen again. You wouldn't know who to vote for. This is why they're using body armor now in Congress, because they don't know who to trust. I'm listening to reports, I think it was yesterday, and the lady is saying that all the panic buttons that's in the rooms were ripped out. And there was a tour that was walking through the Senate, the Capitol building the day before the coup. And she was saying to herself, ever since COVID, they stopped giving tours. But how these people are coming through there? And the sergeant at arms has said the only way they could have got through there is if one of the congressmen or somebody in the staff let them in. So now they're trying to find out who the staff person worked for that's showing these people around, pointing out whose office is to who. And then to save face, Mitch McConnell and the rest of these clowns, they know this. But they made the sergeant at arms retire, saying that he was at fault because he was unprepared. But he come out and testified a couple of days after the fact that he had called the Pentagon several times for backup, and they wouldn't even send help. And you got these protesters coming into the building chanting, Where's Mike Pence? Hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence, hang Nancy Pelosi. And he's the vice president of the United States. And on top of all that, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. You got Donald Trump and his whole family sitting right there in some secluded area watching the whole thing take place. He's willing to let his vice president get killed because Mike Pence um, sat up there and declared that Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. Now, Donald Trump had said earlier that Mike Pence can do the right thing and stand up and, and not do this. But if he do, I like Mike Pence, but if he don't do the right thing, I'm not going to like him that much. Well, we see exactly how little you do like Mike Pence now. You unleashed this mob with the purpose of killing this guy and Nancy Pelosi just for doing their job. You know, if they come out there with a presser and tell you all the infighting, all the threats, how is it that you got panic buttons ripped out of rooms just in case of, and it's happening the day before, and nobody checked these things? Nobody checked them. So you're going to tell me the sergeant at arms did all that? You're going to tell me the sergeant at arms told all these protesters where exactly these congressmen and senators' offices were? They're never going to come out and tell you everything, but they're going to do one thing though. They're going to keep pushing out this narrative. We work better together. We have more things in common than that will separate us. And that breathing oxygen is about the only thing that we have in common with these devils. The Bible says, never trust your enemy. But see, you have these coward pastors and these coward civil rights leaders and these Uncle Tom, these Sambo so-called civil rights leaders that speak for our people. And their language still keeps you in 100% control of these devils. And the Bible clearly say, never trust your enemy. Don't trust them sometime or every once in a while. Never trust them. And the only way we can be in position that we don't have to trust them if we build our own. Because every time you buy from them and you don't have an alternative, not only are you putting yourself in 100% trust them, but you got no way of holding these people accountable. If they tell you this is 100% good for you and you don't have an alternative to go to, just in case it's not, what you gonna do? You just got to keep doing it. When I see this thing, when I'm looking at this TV show and I'm looking at my people, these people are plotting on levels that I didn't even think they was capable of doing. And what are we doing in response? Sending out twerking videos, Facebook challenges. There's a Facebook challenge that they put out there that these Negroes don't flock to. But then when you say do the right thing, take ownership and control over your own way of life. Now I'm the one that's crazy. The blind leading the blind. But how long can you follow the blind before you start to see that this is not a direction you should be heading in? How long does it take for you to realize this is not in your best interest? You know, are you following the blind because you are afraid, or are you following the blind, fooling yourself, putting yourself at risk, your children at risk, your grandchildren at risk, just because you just refuse to see? I'm going to end this video here. And if you like this message, please share it. And with this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I'll see you in my next message. Ashe.